we're all here together. Maybe one more person is coming in, but it's good to see everybody connecting to our HHS session, Health and Human Sciences session, tips about advising and registration. So I'm Jennifer Clark. I am one of many advisors that represents our School of Health and Human Sciences Advising and Personal Development Center. With us tonight, we also have Kojo, so we'll let Kojo introduce himself to you guys.
Yeah, hello everyone. Good evening, and I'm a second year MPH student, and I work as an advising aide among, with 3 other advising aides in our office. And if you ever set up an appointment or email us, you'll probably get a response from me or the other 3 advisors.
Awesome. So I think folks are still coming in, and we appreciate you spending the next few minutes with us. I think we've got up to 30 minutes or up until 6:15. So we just wanted to utilize this time and to kind of help you think about advising and registration and how that takes place at UNCG and more specifically within the School of HHS. So what I'm going to do is share a PowerPoint here, and we'll use that as our basis. So I'll go over a few slides, and then we will check out a couple of websites, and then we'll go from there. If at any point you have questions, those of you who are connecting with us, Kojo is going to be fielding any questions that you might have, and you can submit those through the chat feature at any time, okay? Because I understand that you are unable to unmute yourself, if you will, so please utilize that chat feature. And just to put in a plug, if questions arise outside of this session, once we end our interaction for today, questions arise after that, you're welcome to email our advising center team of advisors, including Kojo and I and others who field those questions and serve students. Our email address is askhhs, that's ASKHHS @uncg.edu. So I'm just going to kind of play real basic technology features here in PowerPoint. We'll just move through each slide. So again, HHS is for Health and Human Sciences. We've got essentially 8 different departments, and then the Pre-Health Studies and Sciences temporary major code that we provide advising for, or that are housed within the School of Health and Human Sciences and award undergraduate degrees. So I wanted to list those here because I'm assuming that many of you are representing those various departments. So Communication Sciences and Disorders, for example, has a major in speech pathology and audiology. In Community and Therapeutic Recreation, there's 2 majors. Therapeutic Recreation is one, the other is Community Recreation and Event Planning. And that department is also really popular for students who have interest in occupational therapy. In the Department of Human Development and Family Studies, there's 3 majors: birth through kindergarten with teacher licensure, early care and education, and child, youth, and family development. In the kinesiology department, there's 2 majors. Kinesiology is its own major, and then there is PE teaching, or the long term for that, physical education and health teacher education. And kinesiology is really popular for students that have an interest in physical therapy. So maybe that accounts for some of you guys. Nutrition has 3 majors. As a department, their majors are nutrition and science, nutrition and wellness, and nutrition and dietetics. In peace and conflict studies, it's just 1 major, and that is peace and conflict studies. In the public health education department, there's 2 majors: health studies, which is only online and restricted to students that have already earned a formal associate in arts or an associate in science degree. And then their other major is community health education, and that is only on campus. And then we have social work, really just 1 major in that, social work, but for social work majors who want to work as social workers in the public school setting, elementary, middle, or high school, there's also a school social work licensure for those who have an interest in that. And then again, this Pre-Health Studies and Sciences major code is just a temporary place to be for a lot of students that might have an interest in programs like nursing, where you can't be formally listed as a nursing major until after you've been accepted into the School of Nursing. And some students have an interest in a health-related career and haven't yet decided what major they want to pursue. So they might be sitting in that Pre-Health Studies and Sciences temporary major code and exploring their options until they change or declare a formal major that you can graduate with a degree in. So again, just wanted to reiterate, these are the departments and the majors that we provide services and support to within the School of Health and Human Sciences. Okay, trying to be aware of our time here. So while most freshmen in our School of HHS are assigned to us, Kojo and myself and other advisors who work out of the HHS Advising and Personal Development Center, some students, particularly those that are majoring in speech pathology and audiology and nutrition, are assigned to faculty advisors within their department. So it could be that the bulk of those of you who are joining us now are assigned to the Advising Center, or you may have a nutrition or speech pathology and audiology advisor. Either way, just know that we're here to support you as you look ahead and continue in your undergraduate career. Whether you're assigned to the Advising Center or a faculty advisor, you'll have the option to interact with your advisor at least once each semester. And for those who want to interact with them more than that, you can do that as well. Registration windows for freshmen coming up typically will open up in early to mid-November. And so we're actually getting ready to send some information out to all of our students, all of our undergraduate students within the School of HHS, the registration window timeline, and just some tips that might help you plan and prepare for registration. And the registration window ultimately defines how soon you can register for classes for the spring semester. So some students had emailed earlier and were asking, well, is this going to be an advising and registration session? And I'm sorry to disappoint those of you who may have thought that this was the case, but it's not. This is really an opportunity to help you think about how advising and registration might occur for you going forward and how it often looks like at UNCG. So I think folks maybe in the Student Services Office gave you a lot of helpful information right before you came in to our session, okay? For many of you, for all of you, if you're brand new freshmen, currently enrolled in fall courses, you are probably pre-registered in courses, maybe in the current courses that you have. And so that is typically not the case for students who are currently taking courses at UNCG. So what I'm trying to say is, now that you're taking courses, we view you as an active student, a currently enrolled student, and going forward, when your registration window opens, you'll be able to register for your own courses. So you won't be pre-registered in any other courses going forward, because now that you're here, you're accustomed to the policies, the procedures, or you're getting familiar with those, and you'll be able to interact with an advisor to talk about the courses that you think you might want to take, or if you're not really aware, they'll be able to direct you towards resources that will help you in your future planning. So you should anticipate information coming out to you via email soon. I would say in the coming week, hopefully at the latest, maybe 2 weeks at the worst case scenario. And information will either be coming out to you from your assigned advising center or from your department. If you don't hear from your advising center or your department, let's say by the end of next week, then you can reach out to them and just say, hey, I want to go ahead and set up an advising session. How do I do that? And with the current pandemic restrictions, we all know that many services are being provided virtually. So advising might, in most cases, will probably be done virtually, or it might be done via Google Meet or Zoom, or even email or phone. So you'll want to be mindful of the information that comes to you soon from the advising center or from your department or assigned advisor, and follow their lead and how they want to connect with you, and be ready for that, because they are ready to connect with you and eager to serve you going forward. Advisors are here to give you advice, not necessarily to tell you what courses to take to meet gen ed requirements, like your general fine arts, or you can take dance appreciation or intro to art, or fundamentals of acting. They really want to help you think about not just the gen ed requirements that you need, where you can pick and choose what you want to take for your history or your literature, but more specifically, they want to help you think about why you're a nutrition major and how you want to use your undergraduate courses for social work to propel you and prepare you going forward for your personal and professional goals. Why do you want to be a therapeutic recreation major? Do you have interest in working with children? And so really questions from you for your advisor could include things like, well, what can I do with the major in kinesiology? Or is there an internship built into my undergraduate degree? And how can I plan or prepare for that? If you're not asking questions, then something might be wrong, because higher education is constantly changing. And I've been working in higher education as an advisor for 19 years now, and things always change. Industries change, licensure requirements sometimes change. So definitely utilize your advisors to help you stay informed, because we're all in this together. So please know we're all in this together. Just to reiterate, advisors will not register you for your spring courses ahead. That's for you to be able to do. Now that you're in college, you got lots of options and lots of choices. So as advisors, we're here to give you advice. If you're struggling in your courses and you don't want to have such a heavy load for the spring semester, we can certainly help you think about options going forward, what your graduation timeline might look like. Some of you brought in some AP credits. Some of you brought in some transfer credits from other institutions. Maybe some of you are exploring taking courses at your local community colleges or four-year institutions that might be a little bit closer to you if you're schooling from home right now, like some of my, two of my elementary school kids are. So just know that you've got lots of different options. There's lots of different opportunities, and there's never a wrong question to ask. So again, don't hesitate to reach out to us as your advising support system, and know that we're here to work with you and to utilize the resources that you pay for in your tuition to help you meet your goals, both personal and professional, as it pertains to your undergraduate career. So as far as registration goes, students who are in good academic standing essentially are defined as students who either don't have a UNCG GPA yet, like most of you who are brand new, or students who have already earned and established at least a 2.0 cumulative UNCG GPA. And for students in good academic standing, you can register for up to 18 credit hours. But the more common load that students often carry is anywhere between 14 to 16 credits. Of course, if you want to be full-time, that's defined as having at least 12 credits, and anything less than 12 is considered part-time. So think about what works for you, how many credit hours you're taking right now, as you think about how many credit hours you want to enroll in going forward, looking ahead to registration for the spring. Advising codes are always 6-digit numbers, and you only get one code per term. So if you will recall, maybe participating in a virtual June SOAR session, and then you learned that you were pre-registered in some courses for the fall over the summer, and then you probably got an email and were encouraged to check out your schedule and make adjustments to your schedule if or as you feel led to do so, and you were provided with the 6-digit advising code at that time. That was your fall advising code. So when you have an advising interaction going forward, you'll be provided with your spring advising code. And so that spring code will be what you'll use to enroll in spring courses. So in early to mid-November, when freshmen will be registering for spring courses at the earliest, you'll log into your UNC Genie account. It'll prompt you to put in your advising code, and then you can go from there to enroll in the courses that will be available at that time. Once your registration window opens in November, it will remain open all through the winter break up until the 5th day of classes for the spring. So you'll have plenty of opportunity to make adjustments to your spring schedule before the spring semester gets started. And just like with this fall term, you can continue to add and drop throughout that first week of classes for the spring. So again, I just want to reiterate that at any point, if you have questions throughout your undergraduate career while majoring within the School of HHS, that you email us at askhhs@uncg.edu. If you're not assigned to the advising center, we're here as a resource for you, but you should also reach out to your assigned advisor. And so you can look up your advisor, your assigned advisor or advising center's contact information in your UNC Genie account by clicking on registration, and then look up advisor. So just know that that contact information is there. But again, if you don't hear anything else from our session this evening, know that we're accessible to you. Email us at askhhs@uncg.edu. It's 6:02, and what I want to do real quickly, again, if you have questions, send it through the chat, because I don't think that students logged in can unmute themselves, and I wish that we had the power to change that, but we don't. And so we got that chat feature, and Kojo is monitoring that closely. If questions arise after we end our meeting, please email us at askhhs@uncg.edu. I'm gonna stop sharing our PowerPoint because we're kind of done with that portion. But what I want to do instead is go ahead and see here, share our website, because our website's important, and there's lots of resources that we have available for anybody that's looking for resources. So I'll just kind of start this all over. If you go to hhs.uncg.edu, you can access lots of information about our undergraduate programs within the School of Health and Human Sciences. If you wanted to click on Advising and Personal Development Center, you can do that. If you want to view all of the departments that we have in our school, you can do that. You'll notice genetic counseling, for example, I didn't mention that. That's because that's a program that only awards graduate degrees, but it is a part of the School of Health and Human Sciences. If you want to scroll down on our website, there's lots of different links. Again, askhhs@uncg.edu, questions come up, but you can also access our advising center at that quick link with an A. So I'm just going to click on that, and it's going to take us to our Advising and Personal Development Center website. As you scroll down in this website, you can see lots of different things. You can click on advising, and you can view lots of different resources from how to use and how to look up your degree evaluation, which is really important, and outlines required courses for your current major that's been declared. And let me put a note in there, you can change your major at any time. So again, just know that you're not locked into the current plan of study that you have. And now is a great time to explore all of our programs across the campus, but also in HHS, how to find your registration window. Again, just lots of resources that we don't have the time to go into now, but I just want to make sure that you know that that's what all this is here for. We also have links called plans of study. So these are links that connect to our own respective departments, where you can view the suggested semester by semester plans as they've been created by your departments. So let's just pick on nutrition, for example. If we click on the concentration requirements, as I've done, this is going to take us to the nutrition department website, where you can read about all of the different majors that they have. And for nutrition, they have PDF documents which outline the courses for their major, maybe a suggested semester by semester plan. And so for the dietetics major, you can use that as a guide to help you in your future planning. Remember, you have access to your DegreeWorks degree evaluation. That's the official tool that the university uses to help you track your progress that you're making towards your major of interest. So you'll want to use your degree evaluation in conjunction with advice that's being provided by your department, and that could also incorporate recommended plans of studies like what you see here for nutrition and dietetics majors. So you can access all of those different plans through our plans of study link for the Advising and Personal Development Center, or if you want to go straight to the department website, you can do that as well. Some of your majors encourage students to begin taking courses within the major while also taking your general education requirements at the same time. So don't feel like you have to get all of your general education requirements done within your first 2 years, and then you're going to do your major requirements, because in most cases, that's not how it's done. And many of you have specific maths that you might have to have, or specific sciences, or other courses related to your major that you can see on those different suggested plans of study. So you can begin taking those in your first year and your second year, and you can begin to develop a look and a plan for how you want your future semesters to go. Some of you may be interested in pre-professional programs of study. So I want to go to the registrar office's website. So I'm going to type in reg.uncg.edu. All I'm
Excuse
doing,
me, Jennifer.
yes.
We have a question from Chloe, and I think this is a particular case or a unique case. She says she's tried to switch her major several times to social work this year, but it hasn't processed. And currently, she's still listed as a psychology major in the College of Arts and Sciences. And she was
Yeah.
wondering how she can get in contact with an HHS advisor, or I guess get her advisor switched to one of the advisors in our department.
Yep. So that Chloe, I appreciate you sending that in. For students who want to change majors to social work, they actually need to reach out to the social work department. But if you wanted to email us at askhhs@uncg.edu, we can put you in contact with Dr. Daniel Rhodes, who's the director of undergraduate advising for social work, and he would actually need to put in the request to have your major changed. In terms of switching advisors, we could probably look at that. I could check with Dr. Rhodes and see if we can't get that advisor assignment changed already so that you could begin working with him or with advisors in that department. Now, if you're a freshman, you would actually be assigned to our advising center as a social work major. But either way, feel free to email us at askhhs@uncg.edu and we can go from there, look into that in more depth. So thank you for submitting that question. And Coach Joe, thank you for sharing. From the registrar office's website, you can click on the catalog or the bulletin. It's all online. And if you have an interest in pre-professional programs, let's say like physical therapy or occupational therapy or med school, vet school, dental school, you can type in pre-professional program in that search engine, hit enter and click on the first link that comes up. You can click on the programs tab and you can see all the different programs that we call pre-professional programs. That doesn't mean we have a degree in dental school or med school or occupational therapy or pharmacy, etc. But it means that we support those students who have interest in those long-term career goals by offering the Common Course prerequisites that they would need to take while they pursue their major of choice. So you can get a bachelor's degree in anything and still take the course prerequisites for occupational therapy or physical therapy or pharmacy. So I'm just going to click on OT, occupational therapy. We'll click on requirements and you can very quickly begin to see, at least with the courses that are offered at UNCG, what that looks like and what would be required for most occupational therapy programs within the state of North Carolina. So this would be based on, we'll go back to the overview tab, those particular OT programs in the state of North Carolina. And there are only 4. So again, you can dig a little bit deeper on the internet. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer if you don't know where to look. Anytime there's questions, email us at askhhs@uncg.edu. Now I'm gonna go back to UNCG's website. I know we've got 5 minutes left, but I'm gonna click on Genie because I think it's important for you to know just the basics of how to look up courses. And to do that from the UNCG homepage, you don't have to log into your account. You will in order to register. But just to begin to see what courses are offered, you can click on class schedule. So when I click on class schedule, here's where you can see there's a drop-down box. And look, right now it says view only for spring of 2021. I'm outside, so I don't know if you hear cars zooming by me in a road nearby. Either way, apparently you can look at the spring 2021 courses. This was not uploaded earlier today. And if you click on that, you can click in the subject box if you want to begin searching for courses by department. Now, let's say that you know what your department is and you don't want to go down this lengthy list. Let's say maybe you want to look at the social work courses. You can start typing in social work and you'll see how it filters in and you can zoom right in on those departments course offerings. So if we hit search, we'll begin to see all of the social work courses that are projected to be offered for the spring. And you can begin to get a sense of whether or not it's going to be offered online or on campus. And while this is a view only screen, do note that this is just view only. So I think there's still a few departments that are making some adjustments, trying to clean this up. Once that view only tab comes off of that descriptor, then everything should be updated and ready to go. But in this view, I wanted to draw your attention to how you can expand on these columns. So if you want to expand on that meeting time column, Like if this were a course that were offered on campus, you'd be able to see the meeting times, the location, the building. So I'm going to take this back, and instead of searching by subject, now I want to search by general education marker. So if you know how to pull up your general education, or your DegreeWorks degree evaluation, excuse me, you can click in that GEC for general education core box, and you'll be able to see here's all of those different markers that every student has to have. So you have to have a fine arts, a global, a history, a literature. So let's say that you want to take a history for the spring. You can wait and do your history in your senior year if you want to, but let's say you want to go ahead and do it in the spring. We'll hit search, and this time we're going to see all of the approved general historical perspectives, so history type of courses that are offered alphabetically based on the department that offers them. And we can see here's some that have some days and times that are posted. And if you want to look at the course description without having to go to the bulletin, you can click on the title of a course, and that's going to pull up a box with all these different tabs. One of those tabs including the course description. You can click on the GEC tab to see what markers might be associated with the course, to see if it's writing intensive or speaking intensive. You can see if there are restrictions. For example, some of our online courses might be restricted to particular students in online degree programs. Other online courses are available for any student that wants to take an online course. You can see if a course has a prerequisite or like scuba diving, for example, which is offered in the kinesiology department. That course has additional fees because you got to have the equipment to learn how to scuba dive. So putting a plug in for some of those activity or PE courses that are offered by the kinesiology department there. Just know that there's a lot of information that's already out there. As an advising center representative, we're here to help you navigate the waters, to get your feet wet in planning out your future semesters as you prepare to make decisions about and even plan out some alternative schedules and or course options going forward. In late October, our graduate students and our seniors will begin to be able to register for their spring courses. And then as we move into November, then the windows will open up for juniors and then sophomores and then freshmen. So in late October, that's really when you're going to want to monitor the availability of the courses that you feel like you might want to take. And you can, again, have some alternative course options, but just to begin to get a sense of how many credit hours you want to carry. Do you want to do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 a.m.? Are there multiple sections in a course where you can pick and choose days and times? You can see how many rows pop up in your view and just manipulate the screen so that you can dig deeper, get familiar with the offerings, and explore all the opportunities that we have at UNCG. So I've talked quite a bit. I'm sorry for my babbling. It is 6:15 on my work laptop. Kojo, were there other questions that came in?
Yeah, there was one more question from Victoria. She was looking for when the advising codes would become available.
Yeah, so the advising codes will be available to advisors here in the coming week. So depending on your major, you're welcome to go ahead and reach out to your assigned advisor or advising center, and you can set up an advising interaction, and they can, in many cases, get that for you. Some departments might have a particular day where they're going to just advertise that students reach out to them. Maybe they'll do a group virtual session. Others might encourage that you wait until a particular date later this month to begin setting up appointments. So that does vary across the campus. But if you'd like to email us at askhhs@uncg.edu, we can investigate that a little bit more. And if you're assigned to the advising center, we can go ahead and assist you and we can go from there. So it's a great question. Any other questions?
That's it for now. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I appreciate everybody spending time with us. Don't hesitate to email us at askhhs@uncg.edu. And I hope you all are doing well in your classes. Happy 8th week of courses. And good luck to you going forward. We look forward to serving you. Again, have a great evening, guys. Bye. And girls.